and the tale of MusiPals. There it is.
Very good.
What did you think of the musical?
I'm very proud of you.
What did you think of the musical? MusiPals.
Do this part.
The demon mother of MusiPals.
Yes, very good. Very good. That was
fade out.
great, Janet.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may have just witnessed the most disastrous introduction.
That was like the least professional opening that you've done. You've done some great openers.
I have, and you know what?
The bar is high.
They're not all gonna be winners.
Yeah,
so.
we need to set our expectations a little more realistic.
Exactly, and that's why I did that one. I wanted to dip down the expectations, so the next one,
you'll be impressed.
Exactly.
But they were impressed by this too.
I think so. Speaking of they, hey everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to MusiPals. We're so glad you're here. We missed you so much. Welcome to MusiPals. It is a podcast about musicals for our MusiPals. I'm your music noob, Dan.
And I'm Katie, your music nerd, and today we have an amazingly famous musical man in Chicago, Aaron Choi.
Hey y'all.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey.
He's also got such a nice timbre to his voice.
Aaron found us from Twitter.
Woo.
And tweeted and was like, this is really cool. So we met through Twitter, and now he's a guest on our show, and it's so exciting.
And it's just more reason why we love our Twitter fans.
Yes, we love talking to you so much.
And hey, maybe if you continue to tweet at us, you'll be able to be on it too. Well,
be a guest one day.
Also, we're honored to have Aaron on here, so maybe we won't be honored to you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm big fans.
Awesome.
I found your guys' podcast. I was working a really kind of dead-end office temp job, and I was listening to podcast after podcast and just going through tons of podcasts, and I was like, I want to find a musical theater podcast.
It's awesome.
And there was surprisingly none.
That's right.
Yes.
So then I found MusiPals, and the rest is history.
Oh,
it's amazing.
How exciting.
You really hit our key demographic of people working dead-end jobs.
Who also love musicals.
They also love musicals.
So, Aaron, although you may not need introduction to many of our listeners, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your musical theater background?
Like I said, my name's Aaron Choi. I am originally from Ohio, but I've worked all over the United States. I've been doing musical theater professionally since high school. I had my first professional gig while I was in high school.
Well, great. We're so glad that you're here, and we're so glad that you gave us the opportunity to see an amazing show, which I'm not going to tell you how I felt about it yet, but...
Aaron so kindly got comps for local production of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah. So, pretty cool to see one live, and now we get to talk about it. So, thank you.
And it's been there's been a few times that I've wanted to try to get tickets for you guys to see it. So, me and Katie were just talking that last summer I did The Wizard of Oz at the Muni Theater in St. Louis with her friend.
With my friend Danielle Bowen. Shout out Danielle.
Yeah.
Hey Danielle. Great to hear from you.
Hi girl.
I don't know who that is.
Danielle was our Dorothy, and she was amazing. And I worked with the director for Wizard of Oz was it was John Tartaglia who was John Tartaglia was our director for the Wizard of Oz. Who was the original Rod in Princeton in Avenue Q, the musical on Broadway. He was the original Pinocchio in Shrek the musical, the one that was on Netflix. So you can see that's him. He's done so much, and he's crazy.
Let's get him on the show.
Yeah.
Can you hook us up?
Yeah, he has his. He's one of those other
stuff to do.
He's one of those other Sirius XM radio shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has I think it's
our company.
You know what? I think that SoundCloud is a much more reputable source of podcasts.
We're well respected.
Although we're also on iTunes, so
now we're okay.
Although that also takes literally nothing, but putting it.
Well,
but anyway, we'll cut that out.
Stop downplaying it.
All right. Well, so glad that you're here, and was so grateful to have the comp tickets, and we decided to do a new segment really quickly, about a minute or two each. It's called "It's a MusiPals Life."
It's a
MusiPals
life for us. It's
MusiPals.
I feel like we've been doing this unofficially.
Yeah, that we have, and I just decided to put a name on it.
Put a name on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you like it, then you should put a name on it.
Put a name
It's-
on it.
Oh, shout out to Beyonce. She should have won last night.
Love you, Beyonce.
Oh man, she should have won last night. Anyway, so this
So
new
political, Dan.
she should have won last
I
night.
agree.
So this new segment called "It's a MusiPal's Life," where we take a moment to tell you about what's going on in our lives for just a moment, but mostly tell just stupid stories. So
I think I have a theme for you.
What is it? What is it? Use it.
It's to the song "Hard Knock Life." It's a MusiPal's life.
Oh my gosh.
for us, I love it. I love it. Can we get the rights for that? I think so.
It's a parody. We don't need that.
Oh, good call. Boom. Done.
Done.
All right. Who wants to start? Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Daniel,
Okay.
I'd love for you to start.
You'd love
Tell us
for
about
me
your
to
life.
start.
Tell our MusiPals the sad news.
Oh, sad,
But
sad
happy
news.
for you and live, but sad for
Sad
the rest of
news.
us.
I lost my pinky toe
Yeah.
in a biking accident.
That's exactly what I was referring to. Great work.
The sad news that Katie is referring to is that I am moving out to Los Angeles, California. Woo woo! Fortunately, however, since computers exist,
True.
the MusiPals, the podcast, will not end. We will continue. We'll do it virtually, and it won't skip a beat. It won't skip a beat. And if it does, let us know, and then I'll move back just for you guys.
Good.
Listen, I'm still waiting for that Putnam County spelling bee.
Oh, it's coming.
Episode.
It's
I know.
I'm
coming.
just waiting.
I've been really bad about editing.
Yeah, we have.
So I edited it on the plane to London, and then I thought I had emailed it to Dan, but my internet was so bad in London that it never sent to
Apparently,
him.
London doesn't have Wi-Fi.
It like really didn't.
kidding,
Because we rented a flat instead of getting a hotel room for my
flat.
family. It was much cheaper, but the internet at the house was like skata. Like it was so bad.
Was what?
That's Greek for shit.
Oh,
And
okay.
so anyway, I thought I emailed it to you and it didn't send, and then I deleted it off my phone.
Truth be told, you may have sent it to me and it's just disappeared
Yeah,
in the
maybe.
ether. I don't know, but it's coming. It's coming. Thank you for reminding
Who
us.
knows?
It's coming.
I can't.
It'll
I
come.
cannot wait. I played William Barfay in Spelling
I'm
Bee.
so
Oh,
jealous.
Parfait. Gotta love him.
I would like to. As
Lugubrious.
Mhm.
You know these musicals so well. After
I know
we talk
it.
about, I'm so
I know
glad
it.
it's working.
Yeah, I'm slowly becoming a music nerd. So what else is going on in my life? The television show that I was recently shooting is wrapping
Yeah.
up this month. I'm very excited.
How'd it go? How's
It
everything?
was great. The production company was fantastic, and I can't wait to hopefully work with them again.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hopefully within the next month or so. It'll
How
be out.
exciting.
I'm very excited.
Very cool.
What's going on in your wonderful life, or MusiPal's life?
Not much. I got to travel over Christmas, which was amazing, and I saw amazing shows in London, and I just want to live there, please.
It's a wonderful place.
Oh my gosh,
I
it was
love London.
great. And I started doing Bye Bye Liver at Public House, which is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm doing a show at MCL, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Please come watch.
You're gonna leave out the fact that your very first your inaugural production or performance was Pony by Genuine, right?
No, it was the second one.
second
The
one.
second week I sang Pony
Oh.
by Genuine.
It's so good.
Last week I did that one and you missed it. But there's two
Yes, I
more.
did.
Well, depending on when we edit this.
You're right. Who actually knows how many more there'll
Who
be?
knows?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any fun stories?
Not as cool as that one.
You don't have
Not
to.
that I can think
I
of.
have great stories.
You do.
The greatest stories.
I
do the
regard you
worst
as one of the
Donald
greatest
Trump.
storytellers that I know.
I've been
Okay.
regarded as that throughout my entire life. No, actually, I've legitimately been regarded as the worst storyteller, and according to many people. So
It takes
You
you
know?
a little bit to get there, but once you do, man.
I like to add in all the details. I don't know what's going to be
No, I think you
important.
should.
You know?
I love your
so.
story.
So, Aaron, you've given us your background, but what's going on in your MusiPal's life?
Oh, my MusiPal's life. I've been fun employed since Christmas. Ooh, yeah. It just fell in that worst possible time. I had a Christmas contract that ended the week of Christmas, which means there's no temp work
Yeah.
after during
one's hiring
Christmas,
after Christmas, yeah.
and then right after Christmas, no one's hiring, and then the first month of the year, no one's hiring.
Yeah.
And of course, now that I'm getting ready to leave, I've gotten contacted by all of my temp agencies saying, "Hey, here's these long-term temp gigs." I'm like, I'm leaving in a week and a half. But I'm going to Ohio to do Spamalot as Patsy.
So fun.
And I'm super excited about that. 2 months of banging coconuts together, which is going
You
to
know
be
what?
super fun.
If you hadn't said "oh nuts," you would have just said 2 months of banging coke, and I didn't know where you were going to end it. Just some sort of weird drug-fueled sex romp.
Or you would have known.
In the
Man.
You would have
1970s.
known, no. Well,
All right, anyway.
I mean, you should know.
I do
kind
know
of.
that
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Bring out your
but-
dead.
Yeah, so I'm doing that for 2 months and doing stuff. I
Yeah,
have
plug
a
your
Yeah, please do plug your
I
vlog.
have a YouTube channel called True Choi Story, and I actually have a video that I've been filming literally the last 2 days that's coming out tomorrow. And it is a really bad cover of Celine Dion's All By Myself.
Can't wait. I can't wait to
wait.
see that.
It is
Everyone go YouTube
it
it right
is
now.
5 minutes of the dumbest stuff.
Good.
Sounds amazing.
And so I recorded the vocals to All By Myself at 2 in the morning
Where do you live where that's
in my
okay?
apartment. Here's the thing.
I agree.
So I have more pillows than I need, but I took pillows and I created a little fort. And I used my phone to record it.
Let's tell the truth
vocals.
here. You decided to make a pillow fort, and then you said, "You know what? I could also double
wanna
this as
sing
a
right
studio."
But here's the thing. The pillow fort was these weren't big pillows. These were like pillows from your bed. Like these were small pillows. So I made a tiny pillow fort on the floor, and so the only way that I could record the vocals was I had my phone on a little tripod thing that I have, and so I had to lay down on the floor to sing. And so
That's
the
a test.
vocals
So I fell asleep 14 times. in the middle.
surprisingly did not fall asleep, but the vocals sound like absolute shit because I'm laying on the floor in my room at 2 in the morning after multiple glasses of whiskey, singing all by myself, trying to not wake up my neighbors.
Just auto-tune the
Sometimes
shit
I
out
like
of
to
it.
think about the things that I'm doing, and if I were to die in that moment, how the police report would describe
Oh
the
my God.
situation.
I never think about that.
Oh, I
That's
think about that all the time.
terrifying.
It's
Can you
terrifying.
imagine that they had
Found you on the floor.
found you on the floor, hammered drunk, or surrounded by pillows, and the neighbors report he was singing all by myself at a very loud
That's
volume?
That's the most pathetic but best thing ever for this video.
That's the way to go.
But
Amazing.
there was a lot of shit. Like I took footage of me like Julie Andrews spinning out in our courtyard, and
I wish I even knew that reference.
Yes.
but-
Oh, you know what
know
it
what
is.
that
Sound of
is.
Music when she's
Oh,
on the
when she
hill.
does that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did Sound of Music.
For some reason, I couldn't place Julie
Julie,
Andrews.
the
Oh
Julie,
my gosh.
It took me a minute.
Daniel!
Hey, before we did it, I wouldn't have any idea. So
I
it
taught
just
you Julie Andrews, and I taught you
took
that we
one
love Julie
minute.
Andrews.
I love Julie Andrews.
Good.
She hates rocks.
Yes. True. She throws them at the stream very angrily.
These rocks.
which I re-listened to that episode today.
Thank you
My
so
friend
much.
Thomas too was like, "Sound of Music's my favorite episode," and my mom liked the Sound of Music one the best.
It's a great
I
episode.
really love the Sound Music episode. I also love your Grease episode.
Yeah.
Your Grease episode cracks me up. But yeah, so I guess I just told a story about me trying to record, laying on the floor. But True Choi Story is my handle for
Love
most
it.
things.
Yes, go
Awesome.
follow
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Go find me. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, OkCupid.
With the same name, True Choice Story.
Oh
right?
no,
Okay,
OkCupid I had to change today. Because, well, I took footage. I took footage of my
I
OkCupid
can't-
account.
I can't with OkCupid. It's just always the worst man on OkCupid. They're awful.
And speaking of the worst
I'm
men,
sorry if you were on OkCupid.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
That's a great segue.
Great segue. It really is.
The best segue.
Sweeney Todd would definitely talk to me on OK
Sweeney Todd.
All right.
Sweeney Todd would love you on OK Cupid. I think I would attract Mrs. What's her name?
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that,
ready?
let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, we're doing it. Oh, 3, 2, 1.
Nerd alert.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Is everyone ready for Nerd Alert?
I think they're
Prepare
ready.
yourselves.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so since Aaron knows so much, we're going to split it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history,
Nerds Alert.
and then he's going to give you a little bit about revivals and different productions and different casts and stuff that have done it since the original production.
60 seconds on the clock. Go.
Well,
Not
I'm going to need
not
longer
really.
than that.
Yeah, it's
There's
going
a
to be
lot.
way longer than 60
People,
seconds.
people love Sweeney Todd. Okay. The original Broadway premiere was in 1979. The music, of course, by Stephen Sondheim, and the book by Hugh Wheeler. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of history on Sweeney Todd, and then we're going to do some history on Stephen Sondheim, because this is our first Sondheim musical that we're doing on the podcast.
Oh, I didn't
Can you
realize that.
believe it?
Actually, that was the only one that I knew before we even started this. Steven
It's an
Sondheim.
exciting day.
Mostly because he's got a great name.
Oh,
Anyway.
amazing. Okay, so the musical Sweeney Todd is most closely based on the 1973 play by Christopher Bond, but that play was based on a story that was very famous in Victorian England. It was based on a popular penny dreadful, quote unquote, which penny dreadful is slang for like cheap, popular serial literature from the 19th century in the UK. So it was a story that like they would keep continually publishing.
I thought there was a spider on your ceiling.
It's tape.
It's tape.
So it's a serial story would be like they would publish like a chapter each week and you'd keep buying it. It was before like a soap opera came out, basically, is like what that was. And so the original story that Sweeney Todd showed up in was called The String of Pearls, and it came out in 1846. And the main villain was Sweeney Todd, and it had all the same plot elements that are in the show. And it was so popular that it was turned into a play before the ending of the story had been revealed in print. And then another play in 1850, and then an American version in 1852, and then a new play in 1865. And so by the 1870s, Sweeney Todd was like one of the most famous villains and one of the most famous characters to Victorians. And so Sondheim liked the 1973 melodrama and based the musical most closely on that because that was the first story to like give the backstory and gave the characters more depth and gave Sweeney Todd like the emotional life behind it and made him a victim first. And Sondheim liked that aspect of it and thought that the music would add another dimension to the story and give it a bigger size. And so we made the music a large part of the story, which is like 80% of the production is either sung or there's music underscoring it. And so the music also like lets us like get into like their demented minds more, which I really like. Like one of the scariest parts, the epiphany, is then paired with a little priest, which is like one of the funniest songs in the show.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
the dichotomy of like showing like, oh, he has his big break and it's really scary, but then they're so fucked up that they turn it into this comedy moment, and it like really lets you into their brains. And so it can get like very scary to very funny. And so then the original director was Hal Price, the original Broadway director.
His name was Hal.
Hal.
Hal. Oh,
H-A-L.
God, I was going to say, that is far too accurate. I'm Hal Price.
Hal Prince.
Sorry. Hal Prince. And
Prince of Hell.
so he
Oh,
like
that's
made
even
it
better.
into a commentary on like the Industrial Revolution, and that wasn't really Sondheim's like intent in the first place, but I think it goes along well with it. But how is like the factory life like creates Sweeney Todd's, and it like creates these like disenfranchised people, and like made it like more of a political commentary. And Sweeney and Sondheim thought of it more as like, this is just like a human like hell-bent on revenge, like everyone else is. Like we can all get obsessed, we can all like need revenge in our lives and all need justice for something that we felt like went wrong for us. And so
Ooh.
let's get a little
musical
bit,
nerd alert.
not really. Let's get like a
And
little bit of
so-
history on Sondheim before we go to Aaron. So we all know American composer and lyricist. He's been working for a very long time. He's won so many awards, like 8 Tonys, an Academy Award, Grammys, Pulitzer Prizes, the Laurence Olivier Award, like Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015. Like this is a decorated man. His best known works as a composer and lyricist include A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Company, Follies, Little Night Music, Sweeney Todd, as we know, Something in the Park with George, and Into the Woods.
I have heard of many of those musicals, and I had no idea he had anything to do with those.
Yeah. And like 2 that he's very famous for, where he just wrote the lyrics for and helped on the lyrics was West Side Story and Gypsy. So like he's had his hand in like so many of like the most influential musical theater works that like have totally like just like defined.
Here I thought
genre.
he was just like this hipster underground composer who just I only produce the greatest.
No,
stuff.
he's just like a god. Like
I did not know that.
The greatest man in the whole universe.
So he gives Raji P and Hammer Time a run for their money.
I mean, they're like
Just a run for their money. I'm not saying
they're huge, but
he's
sometimes
right there.
pretty huge. But it's interesting because now that you say that, how
That was planned.
So he became friends with James Hammerstein, the son of lyricist and playwright Oscar Hammerstein II. So he's like in the dynasty, and he was like mentored by them, and so he was like had his hand in like South Pacific, and was like around at the opening, and he like met Hal Prince there, and he was the one that directed South Pacific, and so he's been like in this world for so long. Like he has like been around with all the greats. He was like with like the old greats, and he like learned from them, and then he like created his own style and his own form, and like he's just a huge deal.
So before we flip it over to Aaron, 2 questions. I know you already mentioned it, but when was this first done then? Like when?
So Sweeney Todd 1979.
79. Okay. I didn't realize it was so late. 1979? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. And then I forgot the second one, so that's it.
If you think about it.
Yeah, I will. All right. Take it away, Aaron.
Cool. Well, so there's been so many revivals of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
A lot of revivals of Sweeney Todd. But I'm pulling out the more notable ones. One that it's weird because it's not really a revival, but kind of is a revival. But they filmed the original cast of Sweeney Todd with Angela Lansbury, Jessica Fletcher, forever. Angela Lansbury. That production was filmed in the 80s. So it was kind of a revival, but not really. But then fast forward through all the other revivals to 2004, 2005, there was a revival on Broadway of Sweeney Todd. And it was a new, reimagined version of the show. There were only 10 people in the entire show. And the orchestrations had been cut down severely. It was conceived and directed by John Doyle, who did it the same production in the West End and brought it to Broadway. And basically, it took all the actors in the show, double, triple, quadrupled roles, and they also played all their own instruments. So if you weren't singing, you were playing an instrument. And wow. I saw this production, and it was amazing. It starred Patti LuPone, who has just a goddess of musical theater.
There are so many goddesses.
Yeah.
But Patti kind of takes a lot of that.
Oh, I agree. My favorite.
So Patti LuPone starred in that. She also played tuba in that, which is hysterical. There was a clip on YouTube. Find it, watch it. It's really funny.
Have to.
Then it also starred. The role of Sweeney Todd was. I always pronounce his last name wrong. Michael Cerveris. Michael Cerveris was the Sweeney Todd in that production, and he, what people might know him from now is he played the father in the Broadway production of Fun Home, which was just on Broadway. The other person...
Don't know it.
What a shocker.
But I can't wait to know it.
Well, the other person of note in this production was Donna Lynn Chaplin, who...
is another goddess.
She played Pirelli. She was Pirelli in this production, and she also played a multiple amount of other roles in it. But people may know her from... She is on the CW show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and she's amazing on that.
From playing multiple roles, including an instrument on Broadway, to a CW show, My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Wait, My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's really good, though.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just an interesting transition. Is all I'm saying.
If you look
Get
at
that TV money, yeah.
No, if you look at that cast, though, they're all mostly Broadway people.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because they wanted...
Because it's a musical TV show.
They
Oh,
wanted
it
actual
is?
singers. Yeah.
Ah.
I highly recommend. Both seasons are on Netflix
Yeah, you and
right
Liv
now.
should
You know,
watch it.
Liv
She'd like
started
it.
it.
Okay,
She
good.
started it. She just hasn't told me anything about it.
You need to watch it with her because it's hysterical.
Yeah, you should.
Anyway, so this production, this
I'm
this
just waiting.
revival.
You're laughing at something that happened in My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? Is that what's going on here? Welcome to the podcast where we talk about My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
It's a
We
great
should do
show.
an episode. It's so good.
It's such a good show. But this production of Sweeney Todd, this revival in 2005, it was nominated for 10 Tony Awards. It ended up winning Best Direction and Best Orchestrations for that production. And there's been more productions of it, but another more recent production of Sweeney Todd, there was a production that was filmed for PBS, live from Lincoln Center in 2014, and it starred Emma Thompson as Mrs. Lovett, also Christian Borle, who was Pirelli in it, and my personal goddess, Audra McDonald.
You brought up Audra McDonald.
Yes, I told you.
In a
we love
recent
her.
episode.
Audra McDonald is amazing.
Yeah.
I could listen to her sing forever.
Yeah.
But she was like the host for the night, as well as she was the beggar woman / Lucy, which sorry, spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. But also
Spoilies.
the guy playing Anthony was J. Armstrong Johnson, who has a long Broadway career, and I also kind of know him because he was at the Muni last summer. Anyway, so that's just a little history of Sweeney Todd.
And you didn't mention the most notable revival, probably for a reason. The movie version.
The movie version?
Yeah.
Oh, I just pretend like that didn't happen.
That's what I figured your answer would be.
It's we will touch more on that later.
I will say though, Helena Bonham Carter is delightful.
I think it's
She's
really
fantastic.
like fun, and
Yeah,
that's all I'm.
In general, I just mean. Oh wait, we gotta send it out. 1, 2, 3. Nerd alerted. Damn it, you got
that
it
what it
this
was?
time. Yeah. My favorite is when you don't get that.
I'm on my game, Daniel.
Yeah, you are. You are on it today. All right. Well, thank you for that nerd alerted from both of you. That was fantastic. So let's dive into the synopsis. And I love this musical. It's a super fun musical.
How exciting.
I think I just really like Stephen Sondheim and everything. But overall, really, really love the musical. I thought it was such a crazy cool story.
Right.
The twists that went on, and I love a little comedic relief, and loved it. That's my
I'm
thoughts.
so glad you loved it.
That's like 3 in a row.
I know.
SpongeBob, Sound of Music,
You're becoming
and
a nerd.
Sweeney Todd.
Oh,
I'm on my way.
On a side note about SpongeBob, I saw that show 3 times.
It's incredible.
amazing.
I went into it thinking it was going to be awful, and then I loved it, and then I took people to go see it twice. So
Like, I would give so much money to go rewatch it the second.
It was a great
I would
musical.
do bad things to see that.
anyway, sorry about the SpongeBob tangent, but I was just like, I love
It's
that
great.
show.
good.
Can't wait till it goes on Broadway.
And I'm so happy. I'm so
Hopefully.
when I was thinking about shows because I think I said earlier, I don't know if I said it actually on the podcast, but I've been trying to get you guys to come see shows with me. And I was like, oh, Sweeney Todd. Oh, this is like a perfect show to bring Dan into, because I feel like this will be, having listened to MusiPals enough, I'm like, I feel like Dan will like this show.
Totally.
I do. I really, and you nailed it, because I just like the complexities of it, and like
totally the story is just so cool.
Yeah,
and that's Sondheim. That's Sondheim.
Yes, exactly. So good. Like his. I can't wait till we do Into the Woods. I think you're really going to get Into the Woods.
And so, like, even in Chicago, right, where you convinced me because of all those twists and all the sort of, and the complexities of the story, where it's like you're uncertain what's actually going on. Yeah. Same sort of idea here, and I love it. It was great. Yeah. Great storytelling. What did you think?
Such a good twist. Sweeney's so good. And I'm so glad there's a revival of it happening now, because I think there's such great, like, political commentary about, like, don't trust these people. Yeah. Like, you can't. You have to look out for yourself. Like, you can't trust judges or police, because they're gonna fuck you over.
And they're gonna marry the
it's just
women that they adopted.
What like power does to somebody, and like what you'll do to get power, and what you'll do to get revenge, and like what
you'll do with the power. And
yes, exactly. And these are like two people that like you feel so bad for him. Yeah. Like you really want him to win. You want him to succeed. Even still, when he's doing all these awful things, you just feel so bad for him. Yeah. And then Mrs. Lovett, like, you feel so bad for her too. Like, she just wants to be loved. She has this beautiful dream of this like family with Sweeney that's like so fucked up.
So fucked up. Like, every once in a while, you can kill it. We'll go on vacation. You can kill a dude.
Like she takes in the boy, and it's like. It's just these such deeply flawed human beings that are just like so like I just like. Of course, like Mrs. Lovett's like everyone's dream role, but I would like kill to be able to play her when I'm older. Because they're just like so complex.
I mean, I would kill to play Mrs. Lovett.
I know, right? I would honestly kill to play Sweeney Todd too. Like that'd be so fucking tight. Like it's so cool, and like such great plot twists.
Yeah,
and there's still a happy ending.
Sort of.
Kind of. The kids get together. That's like fine with me.
Well, arguably, and I'll talk about this at the end, but maybe they get together. I don't really know.
They do.
Okay.
All right. I need it. Give me it. But also, like the mom being the crazy like beggar lady on the street.
Yeah. Crazy twist.
What? Well, and he could have been happy with her the whole time, but Miss Love kept it a secret. Like,
so good. And I just love, for so many different reasons, how no one is good in this. Yeah. They're just different levels of bad. Like, literally no one is good.
Totally.
For a different reason.
I disagree with that. I think Toby is purely the only good one until the very end.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. He becomes bad. We should wait till we get there. But I think he becomes bad when he kills, though he is the best one of the bad.
I don't know necessarily if he becomes bad or if he just goes crazy, because
that's fair.
He kind of sees a lot of stuff happen, and like
he sees some shit.
He sees a lot of shit in literally like 5 minutes.
Well, he may be bad.
That's why like Victoria London seems crazy. like I imagine it being just Sweeney Todd all the time. Like it seems like a terrifying place to live. Like everyone's getting murdered. No one's
What's
safe.
happening?
Have you seen, there's a show on Netflix called Ripper Street. Have you seen?
No, I'm a scaredy cat.
It's all about Jack the Ripper, but it's like this is just Victorian London.
Yes,
I'm like,
because it's so easy to get away with murder.
Victorian London is literally just a death trap.
It's just seriously. Like, you're gonna, no matter where you go, you're gonna get stabbed.
And on that happy note, I think so. I think all of us agree on that it's a fantastic musical, and if you haven't seen it, you should. Actually, this is one of my favorite openings to one of the musicals we watched, because it's like it opens, and I keep using this phrase incorrectly, so just you know what I mean, listeners. But it's like a vaudeville opening where it feels almost like the opening number is just them introducing the show, because he says, and that's the play, and he wouldn't
give it away.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's such a cool way to open it. Like, hey, it hasn't started yet, but it's about to start.
It makes it even scarier, I think.
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah. Like we're into
that's what I love about
story.
it is it focuses on storytelling, like right off the bat. It's like, this is a story that we are going to tell you, And
It makes it feel more real.
Yeah.
Like it really happened.
The only
Yes.
bad thing about that is one of my favorite episodes of The Office, which is the
Oh my!
greatest
I was
show
going
on
to talk about
television.
this.
God,
Yes.
the
Andy
Office
Bur-
episode.
So funny.
Andy Bernard goes around the office with his troupe, and he sings that song. And I always thought, well, they must have written that part for The Office.
For The
then.
Office.
And he wouldn't want to just give it away. I'm like, oh, they're so brilliant. No,
It's
damn it.
like I love Sweeney Todd with my whole heart. I think it's wonderful and perfect. But it's also like one of the most like easily made fun ofable.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Musicals, just because even like the rhythmic
Oh.
changes, like and the orchestra, it's just like if you weren't on board with it, like it would be so easy to make fun of every single second
Yes.
of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I've
It's so
got a few
brilliant,
points.
but like it's
mean-
so funny that they chose it for The Office because, like, of course, Andy and his community theater, like they would do that.
Of course it would be.
and,
that.
like-
the guy who played Sweeney would be a plumber.
Street, like that's funny. That's funny.
Barbara Feet Street.
It's so brilliant and it's so funny. But the opener, like, just the music in it is just such a
Yeah.
good job of like. Sometimes like creates all these patterns, and then when they're broken, it like means something for the character or whatever. And here, like, it just makes it scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Like
Well,
when the
let's-
ladies start like singing
Yeah.
high all of a
Well, let's
sudden.
also
Yeah.
talk about the whistle that's in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Which-
I didn't realize it was a
The
thing.
whistle is a thing
Yeah.
that was used in the original production, and it's technically it's to signify they're burning another body.
Yeah.
But I'm pulling out from the production we saw, they have that whistle sound, but then they ended up mixing it with a woman, like high-pitched woman screaming.
Oh hell
It
yeah!
was horrifying.
Which-
It was
Which,
horrifying.
in this production, foreshadowed Mrs. Lovett's death because she used the same exact scream, and it was so cool.
So cool and
And
scary.
it was so scary because if you know the show and you're like, oh, here's a whistle,
Yeah.
but then you hear the scream in it, and you're like, it added a whole new level of like,
Creep.
this shit is going down.
Yes.
It's super cool. And like with that was the most horrifying sound. It was just every time it happened, I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And since you said it was based on the Industrial Revolution, that makes so much sense because that's like the end of your shift, right? Like
Yeah.
the end of your shift whistle,
Yeah.
and that's the end of your life. That's so cool. That's what a cool thing to
Right?
add.
Very brilliant show.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so where are we? So we open it up. Sweeney and Anthony have just been on some voyage together.
Our sweet prince
Sweet prince,
and our dark king.
hero. Our hell prince.
very good.
Call back.
They've made friends with one another, and they meet this is the first time they meet the beggar woman, right? Amanda, I don't
Yeah.
want to skip too
Yeah,
far
yeah,
ahead.
Well, technically no. 'Cause he
Well,
was
that's
married to
true.
her,
That's
but-
true. That's his wife.
But we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't
yet.
know that yet.
She is a freak. I'll tell you what. She
Scary.
in our production,
She
but I
got
mean
raped.
like.
It's very sad.
But no, I mean like a freak. Like she gets down. In our
No,
production,
they-
she rubbed up Sweeney and
they-
Anthony.
She knew.
Yeah, she got all up on like she like in the normally she just like tries to offer herself up, but she
Yeah.
like got all
She,
up on it, like
she wanted it.
like trying real hard, and it was real like it did what it needed to do. It made people uncomfortable and
Yeah.
it just kind of furthered her crazy. But yeah, it was she insane.
It was a lot.
I hated her songs in such a way that like I'm supposed to hate it. You know, like every time
Yeah,
she would
she's
sing, I
crazy.
just like, oh my god, I hate this so
You're-
much.
Like, get away from me.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I cringed, and they would juxtapose it with another. great
Although I
song,
love, we'll talk about it later on, but her song later on is probably my favorite song in the entire show.
Oh, I can't wait to hear which one because I don't remember what her one is there. But when we get to it, I suppose. But yeah, she was real. She was getting down on it.
Getting out on it.
So all right, here comes my first rant.
All right.
Okay.
What's the backstory here? We got Sweeney Todd, and I think this blends a little bit with Poor Thing, but that's okay. We got Sweeney Todd, who for some inexplicable reason is tossed away to some place overseas. His wife is invited to some party and then chased around with
Okay.
people in masks.
I mean, they explain
Then
it.
she what they don't really explain what Why did he get sent away? What did they do to make her go crazy? I have my guesses, but
okay, it's explained in Poor Thing.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing with Sondheim is if you don't catch the lyrics, you miss
Which
what
are hard to
it's
listen
happening.
to the first time.
Yeah.
They say the whole
it
story.
It says the entire story,
including like. All right,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is at one point, like, and it's granted the part about why he's sent away is mentioned later, but basically the judge had seen his wife. Like, the judge had seen his wife, Sweeney's wife.
Yeah.
The barber's wife. And had been interested in her. And so to get him out of the picture, the judge got the police to falsely accuse him of a crime.
Oh, that makes so much more
and
sense.
had him sent to Australia.
Which is a great place to be sent, I gotta say.
Do you think?
Not at that time period.
Whoa.
Not at that time period. But so he got sent away to Australia on a crime he didn't commit, and so the wife was now a single mother. Her husband has been accused of something and sent away, and so now she's by herself and being distressed. At one point, the judge calls her to come to his house for a party.
Yeah, because he feels guilty.
To like
Quote, unquote.
just invites her and like da. And so
Feel guilty
she goes
that I
to
ruined your life because I thought you were hot.
Well, she goes to the party, and the party is basically a sex party, is what it is. And
It looks really scary in
Yeah.
the movie.
See, that's
they
so unclear.
They did a very similar thing
In
there.
The 80s, they
It was
did
creepy
so-
masks.
Masquerade
They
Day.
had
Oh, but
creepy
I guess I
masks.
should have made the connection because, like, furries.
And then
you
what
know.
happens is he rapes her. Like,
See, that's
that
what
was-
I thought.
And
that was
everyone
a
just
whole
watches.
situation where
Yeah.
like they
Damn it,
all came
Sondheim.
together, and like in the blocking of the production we saw, they all like surrounded her,
Yeah.
and he was in the middle, and then she screamed, and so that was she got
Yeah.
raped. So that on top of all the other
Him
stuff,
going away.
Just made her go crazy. Right.
well, she wanted to. Should I spoil this now or later?
No.
Okay.
Spoil
Well-
things now so I can get over them by the end of the show.
she was so distressed by everything happening. Plus, she's having to raise a baby by herself that she can't handle it. So she wants to commit suicide. So she goes to get, what is it?
Arsenic?
Arsenic.
Yeah.
She goes to get arsenic from the apothecary and takes it to try to kill herself. It doesn't work, and instead, it just makes her crazy.
Classic botched suicide.
And so because of that, she doesn't really remember who she is, anything of that sort. So,
so she loses her memory. See, this whole
she
time I think
loses her
she's just
memory,
this
and that's-
conniving thing.
But that's why she keeps every once in a while when she sees Sweeney, she's like, "Don't I know who you
Yeah.
are?"
See, and
son?"
I thought she was just like playing him a little bit. Like, you should remember me. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, no, she
was
actually was like
She just
in
lost
the
her
back
mind,
of her memory.
yeah.
She's like she felt like she knew him, and so yeah, that's what happened. That's the whole thing.
So much clearer
Yeah.
now. So much clearer now. I mean, and it's horrifying, but I guess you need that horrifying a backstory to tell the rest of the story.
Yeah,
and
to justify why he's
right. It's
Yeah.
all seemingly
Murdering
justified now. Now I feel even more that Sweeney is less of an anti-hero and more of a hero a little bit, but
yeah, it's complicated. But that's why you're like still rooting for him because
yeah,
like
he's murdering people,
Judge is
but
such an awful dude.
yeah. All right, well that's so much clearer now. So after all of that background, and I know some of that bleeds into Poor Thing, or if not most of it, but we got to talk about Worst Pies in London. What a fun song!
Right?
What a fun song!
This love is such a sweetie.
And it's like I think it's the first time you get like a pretty traditionally nice melody too, and you're just like she's singing about how shitty her pies are.
Sometimes you're never gonna get like
It's so good.
a nice melody as made fun of in Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite callbacks in The Worst Pies in London, she has like a line that's like, "With the price of meat, what it is
Yeah.
when you get it," and then she
If you
does that
get it.
again in A Little Priest when she's talking
Oh.
about the human bodies. There are just all these like smart little like melody things
Yeah.
for her.
Because Sondheim's the best.
For every character. Yes, exactly. Because he's the most genius man.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we move on to my
so.
friends?
I think-
What a coincidence!
Up? You big creep, Sweeney.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I wrote. What a creepy song!
It's
Like,
such a great
if you-
song.
Such a great song.
I knew he was I knew the gist of the show. He kills people and makes them into pies.
Well,
But even if you didn't know what, oh, that's true. Even if you didn't know what the show was about, you would hear that song and go, "This dude's a fucking creep.
Oh, shit.
That dude's a murderer."
he gonna kill.
He is singing. He's all about. He's calling these razors his friends.
Yeah. Next.
Moving on. I love this. This is quick. This is
This
fun.
is snappy.
This is. It's always gonna happen. I'm always gonna have a bone to pick with the numbers in the show.
Okay.
The Green Finch song. What's it called?
Oh my god. Green
It's
Finch
very
and Let It Burn.
important.
It's just. It's not.
Oh my gosh, I'm just getting a death stare from
It was just so boring.
It is the worst song in this entire show.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm sticking up for my girl. No, it's
Woo.
not.
Absolutely.
You're done.
This is the
I'm just
worst.
saying
It's
it-
just. I get.
No, it's good.
Here's the thing. I get the whole point of the song, and I get why it's being sung. I get it. I just hate it so much.
And the
But I
whole
feel
thing
like
could have been
that's
satisfied with
because-
like a 1 minute moment where they see each other. Done.
No, because you have to learn about how she feels. Also, it's annoying when like some annoying soprano is singing it. I get that. But when someone that's like not like a lofty, like, oh, I can hit this high note and like sound pretty, when like someone's like acting it, like it's very important.
Yeah, I get that, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. This production
my
we saw,
guns.
acted it perfectly. Fantastic. I'm like, you could act this without singing the song, and I totally know what's happening.
It's like one of my. It's
It
one of my
just
favorites.
doesn't work.
I love
You know
it
what,
so much.
Katie? You're like 150 to my 0, so I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take this one for,
I mean,
for the Gipper.
like fine, but
Gipper?
Gipper.
Gipper. I get it. It was a
But yeah,
frightening moment.
so that. But no, it's the worst song.
that's
Yeah.
a lie.
No. Moving on. Alms. Is this your favorite song? Is
No,
this...
no.
Okay.
No.
Well, so this was actually one of my favorite moments of the whole show because, like I said, I hate the Beggar Woman songs because I think because we're kind of supposed to, but then it's juxtaposed with what comes next. Right after it is Pirelli's, right? Mr. Pirelli. It's,
Yeah.
And this happens a couple times, but it's like you're just in this horrible moment. It's like when you're insanely hungover, like you're just at the pinnacle of your hangover, you're about to vomit, and instead you just take a nap, and then you wake up from that nap is the next song, and you go like, all right, things are gonna be all right. And it's such a wonderful like journey that you have to go through, and you hate it, and then you just get them.
So I totally just lost my train of thought. So are we on Pirelli's?
We were
Yeah.
on the juxtaposition
Yeah.
between
There we are.
Alms and
Yeah.
Do you
Pirelli's,
like
but
Pirelli's?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
But it
It's
was
a fun character.
come on, how dumb do these people have to be buying Pirelli's Miracle Elixir?
I mean,
There's a child
here's what I
telling
think.
them that he has a full head of hair. It's a child. Children without ailments, admittedly, but don't lose their.
That's what I think. It's like everyone was sick. 1, 2. Everything in London already smelled like poop and pee, so they can't tell that it smells bad.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
But
it's a
also-
child. Of course, he
yeah,
has
but
a full head of
but here's
hair.
the thing, but here's the thing. Also, this is like again Victorian London. Everything's going to hell.
Yeah.
So people would sell shit like this all the time,
No.
and people bought it all the
Because they're
time.
No one
idiots.
knew better.
They were like, oh, they wanted
They're like,
the.
oh, must
I
be
mean,
true.
I mean, things. It's the same now. People want quick fixes for
Yeah.
everything, and so that was their quick fix.
So they
for
elect
something.
Donald Trump.
So
Uh-oh. Sadness.
Yeah, big idiots. But
Big idiots.
but fun song. It was a fun song. And
Fun song.
I love that. I feel like up until this point, this show's pretty serious. I mean, there's a goofy song in there, but it's still serious. And
Yeah.
this is where they say it's filled with piss and ink.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Also, that might work. I feel like urine and ink might actually be good. You could just dye your head, and no one would know that you were involved.
So,
yeah, that was fun. I love a good contest in a show. It was great. Love a good competition.
Always great.
it's super fun. Yeah.
It was fun
this one,
pair of songs.
Yeah.
And you know what's great about this number? I think even more than Mrs. Lovett's numbers, it's like purely enjoyable. Like it's not really dissonant. There's nothing. You're just supposed to have a little bit of fun for a moment. I think.
He's lying and it's bad, but he's not killing people. So there's really like no harm.
Right.
Like he's like mean to, what's the kid's name?
Toby, but he's not even that. He's not super mean yet.
He's like bad, but not like he's not like murdering.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I agree that it's just like. It's like a little more harmless than other stuff that's happening.
It's not people's throats being slit while they think they're going for a shave.
Yeah. Nope.
And then being cooked into pies.
So scary.
So then we go to Wait, right? I think around there.
Yeah.
So I've decided that this is an overtly feminist musical. And this is where I realized it, is because Sweeney, with the exception of killing Mrs. Lovett at the end, only wants to kill dudes. In the song, I think in this song, he even is just like, I'm going to kill all the men for the misdeeds that they've done. He's like, women, you're good. You've not done anything wrong. You're all set. But these dudes are fucking assholes. So I'm going to slit their throats.
Also, let's talk about he's a barber, so clearly the only people.
And I know that, barber. Yeah, and I thought about that too. But he could start cutting women's hair and killing them too, I suppose. Jack the Ripper didn't discriminate, is all I'm saying.
Ooh.
Well, he only killed women, I guess.
I don't know. You had to even it out. There were no women left to kill. They'd already been killed.
They had to even it out in Victorian London.
It's a very fair place. Yeah.
For men and women,
gosh.
Who gets pissed off after 2 days of waiting? He said he'd be here by week's end. It's Tuesday. You got plenty more days left in this week.
Ready to murder.
But it's another little like funny jab that Lovett gets to have. It's like it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, so he becomes all panicky.
He's also been waiting like 13 years.
That's true. Yeah. But what's 2 more days? Have a little fun. This is where, isn't this where Mrs. Lovett talks about like putting some flowers in the? This is like where their like domestic partnership starts to sort of take hold a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
He's still not interested really, but like you can tell
he's still
she's
super
like,
brooding about like I just need them to show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a song called "Ladies in Their Sensitivities." What a song title is this next one? Is that what it's called? Right?
Is that the next one?
Oh, no, maybe not the next one. Did I miss one?
No, the next one is "Kiss Me." With Joanna Anthony, which honestly can get cut.
Yeah, there we go. That's why I cut it, because I was like, I don't have anything to say about this.
It's the first time that they physically get to like be together, and it's just about. It's a patter song about kissing and being teen angsty is really what it is, and it can be summed up in a short scene and cut the song.
Yes, it's the Sweeney Todd equivalent of going on 16.
I mean, I always forget about. I didn't even know that. I forget about that song.
Yeah, I don't know that it exists in reality.
It's not. It's
also,
not a fun
I feel
song.
like they're like important, but they're not as interesting.
No, and you can establish, like, because stories have been told about love since the dawn of time, like, you can establish that these two people are in love in about 35 seconds and the audience is on board.
Yeah. Oh, we missed a song, like a big song.
Oh, boy.
We missed Joanna.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's a great song.
We missed Joanna.
You like Joanna, but you don't like Green Fish and Lindenberg? Joanna?
No!
Sucks!
That's such a nice...
Okay, so here's the thing. Oh, do you want to know...
Goodbye, you big creep.
No, you want to know the history about that song?
Fine.
How that song actually was supposed to be? That song originally was supposed to be the Judge's song. Judge Turpin's
I don't like
song.
it anymore.
Because like
I knew it was
there
creepy.
is a scene in the show that usually gets cut out, and it's this whole like deliverance type situation scene where no, it's in
Yeah.
it's slightly in
No,
the movie.
yeah.
It's slightly in the movie where the judge spies on Joanna and
There's like a hole in
basically
the wall.
and whips himself to keep himself from masturbating is
So
basically what it
gross.
is. But the original intent for the song Joanna was supposed to be for the judge. So if you listen back to those lyrics,
They're very creepy.
I'll
I'm gonna have to
feel
listen
you.
back.
I feel you, Joanna,
Ugh.
buried in your yellow hair. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't creepy. Granted, if you really think about it, I'm like, Anthony, you just met this girl.
You're looking at her through a window.
You're looking at her
Like,
through
you're
a window,
creep too.
and
Yeah.
you want to steal her and take her, and
Steal her
then
and feel her.
roll around in her hair, which is a whole
Yeah.
nother weirdness. But
I can't disagree there.
anyway, so
It's a nice
I
melody.
don't like Joanna. I'm
it's
bored.
not. Here's the thing: it's not my favorite song, but it's still better than Green Finch.
That's not.
Yeah,
it's
that's the
just
song
a
you
lie.
needed. You know
It's
what?
still
Have them
better.
harmonize on Joanna a few times.
I
That's
mean,
wrong.
if we want to be an
Green Finch
equal,
on there
if we
is
want to be
better.
an equal opportunist for the female songs, Green Finch is the worst song. For the male songs, Joanna is the worst song.
Okay, fine. We can
No,
both.
I
pick
like
that.
Joanna.
It's
liked
still,
it.
I
You're
still,
wrong.
it's not my favorite, but it's still.
Plus, Andy Bernard sounded so good
it's a
singing
thing.
it in the office.
We're on the same page, Sam.
forgot
We're on the same
that.
page.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Anyway. So okay, so
yeah, they
jumping
did miss
back,
that. Yeah, so circling back.
ladies and the
Their
sensitivities.
sensitivities. You know what? It is kind of it's a terrible song. It's a song where the Beatle is telling the judge like you should really get a shave before you go try to marry this person who's essentially your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even really a song. It's more of a recitative to move into the next
Yeah.
Yeah,
scene.
but it's a nice little like it's got a nice little medieval sort of court gesture.
Yeah, it's like it feels like happy behind it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, except for it's super creepy.
Yeah.
And then this next one is weirdly right. We're into the Pretty Women. Yes.
Yeah, there's a short quartet before that, but that's not a big deal.
Doesn't
It goes Pretty Women's the
Mm.
next one.
That Pretty Women is is most definitely one of my favorite musical moments.
I love it.
In
It's
all,
very good.
so cool.
It gets stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah,
It's
and you know what I
creepy.
think? I think it very much. If you go back and watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it has to have influenced the Willy Wonka theme song. It's like the exact same melody.
I mean, they
Anyway.
both came out about the
Interesting.
same time.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
the original. Yeah, because the original Willy Wonka came out in the mid late 70s,
I don't
and
remember.
same thing with
Huh.
Sweeney. So
They're very similar
Yeah.
songs, but what a cool song! And
it's a great song.
it's like he's a cat toying with his prey, and he's just just not about. He could just kill him right now, and then he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when it gets really.
Yeah, and there's that
loud and-
moment
And you're
where it's
so
like-
excited.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then Anthony comes in and fucks it
Well,
all up.
but before that, the
Even
coolest
before
part,
that-
there's a part before that, which
I
is
know
where
what
I
you're talking about.
I lost my mind, where it's like, it builds up and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like, I didn't think it was going to happen, but it's totally going to happen right now. The
Oh,
music
yeah, yeah,
builds.
yeah.
It goes right back
And then,
to.
pretty woman. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I was like, blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Sondheim.
So cool.
And
so
if
cool.
it, and like the production we saw, and when it's blocked correctly, you were like, "Oh, it gonna happen! It gonna
Yeah,
happen!" And
you
then
even
he
think it
switches
does
real
in our
quick.
production. In the production we saw, you're like, oh, it no,
He goes
oh, no,
down
it
and
didn't.
then he like
Yeah.
switches real quick.
It
But
was so cool. So cool. Anyway,
so,
yeah, and then Anthony comes in like a
Yeah.
doofus.
Little doofus.
Ugh.
what a douchebag!
You could have gotten everything you wanted.
Yep.
If you had just waited, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, everything would have been fine. That's another piece of that about this musical that like you're supposed to like cringe a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Also, listen. Also, in this musical, Anthony has the worst timing in the entire world.
Oh my god, he's such a dummy.
Yeah, he really is.
He has
really
the
big
worst
idiot.
timing.
Ignorant.
Of course, he's a sailor. He has
Yeah.
like no sense of time.
He's just like
Uh,
such an idiot.
so then, are we into Epiphany or did I skip another?
No,
one?
Epiphany's next.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, you have the deep thoughts on this.
no, I just love it. I
Oh.
love Epiphany so much.
There's such a freaking cool line. Like it's such a philosophical line in it. It's
That's so cool.
the lives of the wicked should be brief, and for the rest of us, death will be a relief. what a line! Like that sounds like something Nietzsche would say. I was like, oh my god, that is a beautiful philosophy, pessimistic philosophy.
So good.
Oh man, I blew my mind.
Great.
Such a cool part.
Yeah, I love Epiphany, and it's there's no words. It's such a great it's such a great build to it builds and builds and builds, and then is there anything else you guys want to say about Epiphany? Because it just builds and builds and builds, and then it just dumps straight into
a little priest.
It's so brilliant.
To your point earlier, it's like we just sang about we're gonna kill a whole bunch of people. Like we just said we're cool murdering a ton of dudes.
Dying. Like no matter what they
and then we're gonna have a little joke. Have a little romp in the head.
Just that,
do some
again, that juxtaposition of this is great, and this is also where Sweeney really he starts seeing Mrs. Lovett as oh hey,
yeah, you're so
totally useless.
You're on board with all this. And at least in the production we saw, it was the time it was the end of the song they kissed, and that was the way they ended.
The little priest
I forgot.
Epiphany.
No, Little Priest.
Oh, okay,
the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
They kissed, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't.
I felt it was a little bit weird, but I was fine with it. It was a little weird. I felt that there was already, they had just started bonding, and then they kissed all of a sudden, but
I feel like if you're both we're gonna murder these people together.
Yeah, you should at least be like,
it's a bonding secret.
And also okay with it. And be
yeah.
We're going to make jokes
and
about
we're
it.
both turned on by it a little bit.
Yep.
And let's
Murder
also
boners.
remember this is a musical.
Yes, so emotions happen
and their relationships have to happen real fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's I think.
Well, I just wanted to say I love A Little Priest because my Instagram handle is on Puns and Noodles, and it's all about puns. And this whole song is just an endless pun.
If this musical wasn't made for you, I don't know.
It really was in a lot of ways. Great little pun song.
Oh my gosh.
All the puns in that song, all the puns, and also the thing, Little Priest is, in the scheme of Sweeney Todd, it's not my favorite song in the show, but it's still such a great song.
Yeah.
I think it's just long. That's the only problem with that song.
It is long.
It's long, and it sometimes.
God, somebody had to get all those puns in.
Well, here's the thing: coming from a comedy standpoint, it almost hits the nail too much.
Yeah,
where it's puns, okay, Dad.
I feel like they were sitting in a room and they just kept thinking of puns. They're like, throw it in. We got it. Throw it in.
Sondheim,
no, it's a piccolo. It's piping hot. Blow on it.
This is Sondheim's dad jokes. This is his entire dad
I'm on
joke.
board though.
So good.
I think it's great.
It's not. Again, it's not my favorite song, but it's not bad. It's fun for what it is. It's just. I think it's a little long.
Yeah, I know it's fair. God, that's good.
Ooh,
see what I did there?
People love those
MusiPals and the show.
They love human flesh.
They just love it. Do you think so? In real life, do you think?
That's an awful question to ask. Don't ask it.
But do you think? It's an episode of Always Sunny, and it's hilarious.
I mean, here's the thing. I think if you don't know, how would you ever I know it. You just be like, oh, okay.
It's just a different kind of meat. Yeah. You know what? This may make me a serial killer, so I may be arrested after saying this. But the whole time that the show was going on, I was like, I wonder what parts of the human are edible. Because can you eat the calf muscle? That's probably not a good thing to eat.
I wouldn't say you're a serial killer, but
I'm concerned.
A questionable cannibal.
It's a concern.
Okay, well that's fair. That I'll accept.
I feel like the ribs, right? That's part of the eat of
I didn't
animals.
think about that. Yeah.
And
God,
the
no,
back.
I'm just thinking about the similarities. You wouldn't know if you're eating human ribs or cow ribs.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. And we can't talk about it anymore. It's so gross.
So then we move to Mrs. Lovett's proposal to Sweeney that they should go get a house by the sea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where she's like, it's good, we'll go lay in paradise, and every once in a while you can murder a dude. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. It's my second least favorite song in the show.
Yeah.
It's necessary for the story, but it's not something I would listen to and like
Yeah.
enjoy after.
Yeah.
Well, do you do that with musical songs? You listen to them outside of
yeah. Like all the time.
Who
Like,
are you?
I'm not
Every
there
damn
yet.
day of my life.
Sorry, guys, I'm not there yet.
This is all the music that I listen to. Like, I know we have a segment later. It took me a long time to figure out a song for that segment because I kept thinking of other musical theater songs.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm like,
not there yet.
I listen to. Well, it's also because it's my job. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So
Yeah. But it's so yeah, we talked about this earlier a little bit, but we all kind of agree that Mrs. Lovett has even at least slightly always been in love with Barker and Todd.
For sure.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
200%.
Yeah, which is a interesting. It makes her character a lot more interesting.
I just imagine her as a creeper, like at the beginning,
Yes.
like her beginning.
Like she's like not Toby. What's the Anthony? Like at the window, looking at Sweeney.
She's like the judge in a way. Like
Totally.
She wants
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Yes.
She wants Benjamin Barker, and
she,
she.
like,
by any means
Yeah.
necessary.
You're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
It makes me sort of think that as delightful as a character she is at face value, she maybe is the most evil character in this. I mean, Judge Turpin is outwardly evil, but she's arguably pulled all the strings to get
I mean,
to
like
this
you said
point.
before, like they're all bad.
She's
Right.
she's a manipulator. Is what she
Totally.
is. Like, she totally manipulates. She comes up with the idea of, like, oh, we should use people for meat.
She's so
Right.
smart that it's like.
Yeah, and
for
who's to say
evil
she didn't,
purposes.
show Lucy to Judge Turpin, right? Who's to say she didn't lay the groundwork for all of that to happen? It's possible.
I mean, it's speculation, but
Yeah.
you could probably. It's a strong case, though.
Yeah, it's not a big stretch, which makes it even more fun because it's like the character who, if you don't think about this musical, you go, well, she's the best, she's the most fun character in it, but
Well, yeah.
really she's fucking evil. So
Yes, true.
Yep.
then we go to another song that could just very easily be cut. Didn't have any reason why it was in there. Wigmaker.
Oh yeah.
Like you just talk
Yeah.
about the plan for 30 seconds, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't need a
Yeah.
song about flaxen hair and blonde hair and
No. It's just there because Sondheim was like, let's throw some more music
yeah,
here.
pretty much. But whatever, it was.
Well,
there.
it's also because Act 2 is so short, like compared
is super
to
short.
Act 1.
Yeah.
Act 2 is like, there's real short.
Yeah, throw some
Because like,
stuff
how
in
long
here.
can you like keep a business running where you're murdering people? I guess
Right,
even in
yeah.
Victorian
Yeah.
England.
Sure.
I just thought of something. For our friends listening, we forgot to mention that at this time, Joanna has been thrown into an insane asylum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
can we talk? We
sad.
should talk about that because
Oh, so
I don't. I
sad.
didn't see that. I'm sure it was somewhere, but I didn't see that transition in the show. Like, at what point and why does she get put in the insane?
Oh, she gets put in it. It was the last time that she's with Anthony, and she got caught with Anthony.
Oh, so Judge
and
Turpin puts her.
Judge Turpin says, he doesn't say where he's putting her, but he says, I'll put you somewhere where no one will find you.
Oh, okay. I
And
missed
so
that
then
part.
It's an insane asylum that he has something to do with.
Gotcha.
So anyway, Joanna put in an insane asylum just because Judge Turpin doesn't want anyone else to get to her.
He's a real creep
Blech.
and not the worst character. Arguably.
But like, pretty bad.
yeah. Oh, second worst.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe third worst. He
I
doesn't
would argue
murder
that
anyone.
he's worse than Sweeney Todd.
Oh, I'm saying Sweeney's third.
Okay.
I'm saying that Mrs. Lovett is the worst character.
You think so?
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, she's the most evil.
I'm not
Huh.
listening well.
That's something I gotta think about
Yeah.
now.
Anyway,
I think he's more evil because he like puts on this air. Well, I guess she does
but
too.
she's manipulating the whole thing.
But he's
she's
like
the
supposed to be,
mastermind of it
like,
all.
good and fair and just.
Who is?
Because he's a judge.
Yeah, but he's not.
I know he's not. I think that's what makes it worse.
Yeah, but
he's
I-
like using all these things at his disposal. That
I
he shouldn't
think
be doing.
that the original writer, and Stephen Sondheim, to some respects, want you to know that the people who oftentimes the people who are the most charming are the most evil.
Fair.
I think that's what. And then she's
Fair.
the
Fair.
most
Fair.
charming.
Fair. Nice is different than good.
Anyway,
Thank you for that reference. He doesn't get that
He
reference.
doesn't get it.
at all.
And
But our
that's,
listeners
I thought you
will.
just had a nice,
Yeah,
a
it's
nice saying there. I thought you just made
That's
up
from
a
Into the Woods.
it's
colloquialism.
from yeah. We had
Into the
another
woods.
Sondheim moment.
He had a nerd moment.
Sondheim moment brought to you by Stephen Sondheim. Part with MusiPals.
Yes.
Partnership with MusiPals.
If only. If only.
Is he alive?
Yes.
Oh. Let's
Very
have him
Very
on
old.
here.
He was like 86.
Do you think we can get him on here? We'll get you on here.
No.
For
I
our
wish.
guests next week, we're gonna have next episode. We're gonna have Stephen Sondheim as
Oh
our
my
guest.
gosh. I just died.
So then we go to Not While I'm Around, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
song.
good, dude. This is like where we really establish. It's another perfect moment for Sondheim and the writer, because it's like they have this moment where they're like mother and son. They're never gonna hurt each other, and then she's like, "Well, I guess I gotta kill him."
Yeah. Pretty much.
Whoops.
Turns out he knows too much.
He figured it out.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that's
then
why
he
she's
wants
the
to
worst.
Save her, and it's very sad.
Because she doesn't
It's
care
super
about
sad.
anyone other than herself and Sweeney.
And yeah. She doesn't want anything to get in the way of her happiness.
So she's gonna kill him. But and so then we go into parlor songs, and I get it.
Oh
like
no, that whole thing can be
scene
cut.
can be cut. Which abruptly takes us to like all of the falling action and the ending in a 12-minute song.
Oh
which-
well, no,
oh,
we're
did I miss
missing my
something?
favorite song.
Oh, sorry.
My
City on
favorite
Fire.
song is "City on Fire."
Yeah.
Favorite song in that entire show because it is just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
it
have
is.
you have the beggar woman singing it, and then it transitions into, again, this is tying all the loose ends to this show in like the last 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's Anthony breaking Joanna out of the insane asylum, and then
Oh,
things
yeah,
going crazy
of
there.
course.
And then the insane asylum, well, at least in norm, then it's the ensemble that sings the rest of City on Fire. In this version, the insane asylum people like escaped, and so they
Yeah,
started
that was
singing
cool.
it, and it was crazy.
That was really
And it was
cool.
amazing.
I didn't realize that wasn't a
Um,
thing. Like that's not in the like written in it. That the insane
It's
asylum
normally
people-
just the ensemble. Like the
Oh,
ensemble
okay.
comes back out and they sing it, or they sing it off stage.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Like City on Fire 2 is cool, like you were saying, because of all the levels. Like, just like industrial revolution stuff, like the smokestacks are always going, so it
Yeah.
looks like there's fire
City on
everywhere, and then
fire.
she knows that they're burning the bodies, and no one else does. So like, she's like trying to warn people that like the bodies are being burned,
Some bad
and
stuff
just
going
like
on here.
everything bad is happening all over
Yeah.
the place. Like metaphorically, the city's on fire. Like,
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's it. I bet. I wonder if burning of the bodies is also a metaphor for the Industrial Revolution, where men go into the factories and they come out all sort of dead through their day and smelling chemicals all day.
that's some deep cut. That's some deep cut. Dan.
Metaphor.
deep Dan cut.
Deep down. Muse a noob, deep cut. So then just murder after murder. Let me
just-
see
Yeah,
if
we're
I
killing
did this-
everyone now.
I did this from memory. Let's see if I got this right. You
Yeah.
guys tell me. So it's don't correct me in my stream of consciousness. It's first he kills the judge, then he kills his wife. Well, doesn't technically kill yet, but sort of kills. Then he almost kills his daughter. Then he kills Mrs. Lovett, and then Toby kills him. Did I get that?
Yes, that's the right order.
I was really
It's the right
excited
order.
about that as I wrote it.
Remember.
Yeah.
Technically, the wife comes, later, but
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't fully die.
He gets so annoyed with her.
Yeah, that was.
It's so sad.
That's where he just I got a little upset with that moment because I was like, dude's not gonna kill his daughter, but then I realized he's just gone insane. Like
Totally.
he's just completely off
Well,
the,
because
the deep end.
yeah, he just
Mm-hmm.
is so been he's like
Yeah.
taken over by
Yeah,
this obsession.
Mm-hmm.
and so it doesn't matter, daughter, ex-wife.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm
so
just gonna kill
sad.
everybody. I don't care.
it's so sad.
Yeah, he loses it.
This poor guy.
What happens to Toby?
Oh, you don't know, like Toby. Although
He's fine.
Toby
Lives
just
a happy life.
Toby just Toby. But here's the thing with Toby. Toby, in my opinion, is one of the most flawed characters in this musical
Yeah.
because he doesn't really do anything.
No,
And then he has this big pivotal thing for the
Right,
end. And
and
I'm
yet
like,
he murders the main
how-
character.
what?
where did this come
You-
from?
But here's the thing, like in the 2005 revival, they sum this up very well. They opened the show with Toby
Yeah.
singing.
Very smart.
they have Toby singing the opening portion of
so he's
A Tend
telling
Tale,
the
so
story.
he's telling the story.
That's brilliant.
And he's in an insane asylum. So they start out with him in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
See, that's perfect. That's
Singing this song, and then
Yes.
it ends because he witnesses all of these deaths
right.
in like a 5-minute span, and
Yeah.
he's supposed to be a child, and so then he just goes crazy, and he kills.
That's a perfect way
Sweeney.
to do it. See,
And
that's
that's how-
I wonder if that's how it's written. Is that how it's written, or is
No,
it-
that's not how
I
it's
just added
written.
that in.
But that's the way the revival had it done.
That's perfect.
Which I think is a better way to do it
Yeah.
because it explains Toby's character better. But I hate the ending of this musical, like how that ends.
It's so
because
abrupt.
It's so abrupt, and it's like literally, it's like, where the fuck did Toby come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did Toby not just run? Like,
Yeah.
what child is this? Like, why are you
He's
still
just so
here?
hardened by the streets.
I guess. Yeah.
Like
but,
he's just like in the sewers, just
Yeah.
chill, like hiding and chilling.
Becomes
That's his
the rat-
house.
comes the
And
Rat
then
King.
He comes back, and then he sees all
hard.
these people die.
I am the king of the toilet people.
Hey, that's what London is, man.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
agree. It just
so-
sort of ends, and then you don't technically know what happens with Anthony and Lucy and Joanna.
I feel like they're happy.
No, they got away in
Maybe.
some sense, maybe.
Maybe.
You
And
Or
never
then
they
it-
know.
like
then it
did
just
their own
ends.
meat pie thing. I don't know.
Or who knows? Maybe she goes crazy. She dies of consumption. I don't know.
I feel like they're happy. In my mind, they're happy.
Yeah,
yeah,
abrupt
and then-
ending, but
Abrupt, and then they reprise the
yeah.
ballad.
And
of
the
Sweeney
tale
Todd.
of MusiPals.
Yeah, they
Yes.
sing MusiPals.
They do.
Everyone was like,
Always.
I love that podcast.
The Demon Podcast of Chicago
There we go.
of
There we go.
Lakeview.
Very good. Yes.
The wheels are coming off here.
We're having fun.
Anyway,
So much fun.
Um, so we have some issues with the ending, but overall, just
Yeah.
watching it, I didn't enjoy it in the moment, and I can admit that. But like, I don't usually enjoy things in that way ever. Like the way I enjoy things is I
You
do
think
them.
about it after.
I think about it after. And I go, okay, that
Yeah.
was actually awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about this one. I didn't super enjoy it while it was going on, but then when you think about it, I was like, okay, that was
Totally.
really cool.
Totally. Like once you know the history
Yeah.
and you know like the lyrics more and
Yeah. Well, and that's as is evidenced
like
by
if
our
you saw
first
it again,
episode.
I think you'd
yeah,
like it when you were
absolutely.
watching it
Absolutely,
again.
I would totally would.
totally.
As is evidenced by our first episode, Chicago, where I was like, "This
Yes.
is the worst thing ever," and then when you explained it to me, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh shit, it's actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
We can score it. Who do you relate to? Hashtag that. Or once you pop the show tune, don't stop.
Oh man, I have some good hashtags, y'all.
I'm ready.
You want to start there, or do you want to save best for last? It's up to you.
Oh, let's say best for last.
That's my favorite game too.
Because I got some good hashtags.
I can't wait. All right, so what do you want to go relate to? Who do you relate to?
Let's
show
relate.
tune.
Let's relate to. Yeah. Let's
All right,
do relate
Katie,
to.
take it away.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Don't think I'm scary.
Oh, Mrs. Lovett.
I'm gonna say Mrs. Lovett just because she like
You're
wants to be
evil.
loved so much. I relate
Hence her
to
name.
that.
So, are you secretly trying to take down this podcast? To murder this podcast?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
All right, tell me more. Why?
No, she just she just wants love and a family so badly
She'll do anything.
that she'll do anything for it.
Literally anything.
And while I will not bake people into pies,
Yeah.
those are things I want for my life.
Maybe you'll bake people into spanakopita. Isn't that a Greek food?
It's close to Greek food. Spanakopita is
There
Greek.
it is. You'll
I
bake
will
people into
be
spinach pies.
baking no people, but I do make good spanakopita.
Do you?
Yeah,
Liv loves that.
it doesn't involve human parts though.
All right. So you'd go a long ways to get what you
Yeah,
want.
we're talking about like awful people all around.
Yeah.
So if we're choosing someone, like I relate to
Fair enough.
wanting those
Yeah,
things.
I mean, you've picked the most evil character in the show.
Well, that's
but-
me.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, what you got?
Oh, I also picked Mrs. Lovett
Yes.
for very similar reasons.
I'm surrounded by
That-
manipulative serial killers. I think I need to leave.
Yeah.
Again,
You were talking about being a cannibal.
I was just curious.
Listen.
That's how it starts.
So no, along the same lines, like my notes for why is she's funny, crazy, and she just wants a guy to love her. Like that's all she that's all she wants, and that's all I want. I'm 31 and single. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. There's lots happening, and
So
so.
love-
We should
on the
fly to New
brain.
York and watch the preview of Sweeney Todd.
Oh my god!
That's what we should
if only, but so I relate to Mrs. Lovett on that end of the spectrum where she
Alright.
just
Totally.
she just wants to
She
be
wants
loved.
to love
She
it.
wants to be loved. How about you, Dan?
So mine, I picked the least, in my mind, the least evil character in the
Oh,
show.
gosh.
Still evil because I'm such a sweetheart. Anthony. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
And it's not
Did you stalk Liv?
because I stalked Liv and I broke her out of an insane asylum. No, it's because he's all he kind of acts like a badass and like he's kind of has I'm gonna save her and I don't care what.
Yeah.
But when the shit hits the fan, when it's down to brass tacks, and he needs to murder a dude with the gun in his hand to save the life of him and the love of his life, he can't do it.
You can't do it.
And I wouldn't be able to. And Liv would absolutely have to take the gun from me. And like, you asshole, I'll shoot the guy. So for being gun shy, that's why I'm Anthony.
Word.
All right, Katie, where do you want to go next? Do you want to go? We're doing hashtag that last. Do you want to go score it or once you pop?
Let's do once you pop.
Once you pop. Oh wait, ready?
Once you pop, the show tune don't stop.
Don't stop.
You nailed it.
Got it.
But
You really got it. Cut print awesome. I'm not. I like mine, but I don't love mine, so
All
I'll
right.
start it off.
Okay. Then they'll forget about it.
The song I wanted to cut the most is the Green Birds, whatever it's called.
I hate you both.
I
I'm
decided
so happy.
because I wanted to cut it so bad, I would at least replace it with Nelly Furtado's "I'm Like a Bird."
I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know.
I was flying away.
I
I
respect
don't
it.
know where my soul
It
is.
fits. She doesn't
Doesn't
know
it?
where
She doesn't know where her home is. And baby, all I need you to know is this song sucks.
It's very fitting.
It is.
Very good,
It
Dan.
is.
Boom.
Yes.
All right, who's going next?
Do you want to or
You
shall I?
can go ahead.
Okay, so because Joanna's like
God,
such a
talking to
creepy.
your mic.
Okay, because Joanna's such a creepy song, and he's like such a stalker, and he's like
The
sees
whisper
her.
song again.
No, but I wish I did. I'll be wanting you by the police. I mean, every breath you take by the police.
I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
There you go.
Bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Very creepy, very stocky.
Yeah.
I'll be watching Joanna. You know, it's creepy.
Every move you make, I'll steal you. I'll feel you.
It's so
Oh God.
your hair. It's so scary.
And everyone just vomited
Yeah.
everywhere and came at the same time.
Hey,
Ooh.
Vomit coming.
I think people. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't know where you wanted to go with that.
I asked, do you think people masturbate to our podcast?
Absolutely.
I love this.
Yeah, turn this on. The silky sounds of MusiPals.
People,
Right?
People-
Like, people, like,
no,
find,
people,
like...
well, people love the ASMR stuff, so
Oh, true.
What is ASMR?
Where you, like, tap on things.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Or there are videos and videos. There.
Oh, God.
No, there's just videos and videos of people on YouTube that
Masturbating
just-
to music.
of course, that's XTube. But no, they'll just have a full video of them like with a microphone, and you watch them, and they're just like, okay, guys, so
It's so calming, though.
It makes my skin crawl. It really
so
and it makes me want to jump out of the window
It makes me like really relaxed.
Oh, I hate it so much. All right, so who do you got for once, or what do you got for Once You Pop?
Oh, of course, because we needed Katie to break it up in between us because
Gosh, you both are fired.
Yes.
I wanted to. I originally wrote down replace Greenfinch and Let It Burn
Yes.
with literally any song.
Yes. With Nelly Furtado's I'm Like a Bird.
I'm like a bird.
then I wrote, instead of that, I wrote the jazz standard "One Day I'll Fly Away,"
Okay.
which works really well. It's
Yeah.
in Moulin Rouge.
One day I'll fly away.
That song.
Yeah.
One day I'll fly away. Or Call Me Maybe.
But here's my number, so call me maybe.
Because that's the first because that's the first time she meets Anthony, and she's
like
like,
that.
"Here you go. You can't."
This is crazy.
So
but
here's my number.
I saw you once. Let's get married.
Here.
My
Let's go,
adopted
let's
father
chat.
wants to have sex with me, so call me maybe.
So there was
You
that.
burnt, Judge.
Oh.
Yep, nice, nailed it. I love that. That was one of our
But
better.
you know, I
Once You
think I
Pops.
find it funny that all three of us picked songs that were not the lead character songs at all.
Yeah.
because they were too.
those,
They
like,
had to be there.
Yeah.
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 This subplot is boring.
So let's score it. Let's take it home with hashtag.
Okay.
that. Aaron, start.
Oh no, you start
Give me the
because
categories.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't know
Yeah,
the categories.
the
I'm sorry.
categories.
Yeah, so
Like I do, I've listened to
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
many
We
times, but I
remind
just
you.
can't remember it.
So it's and I'll score as well. For music, well, I'd like to give it 2 scores because for music that I actually enjoyed, it's 0. But for music that was like really, really smart and like made you feel something that it wanted you to feel, I give it a solid 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 nails scratching a chalkboard.
5 out of 5 cities on fire.
Yeah. So I'm torn, but I'll give it because of that. I'll give it like a 3 nails scratching a chalkboard.
Okay.
For writing, 100. It was so smart the way they did things. Maybe a little in your face at times, but still, 100. 100 pencils.
Why pencil? Oh, for writing. I get it.
It's the default. And for pageantry, I'll give it a 3.
Depends on the production.
Yeah, it depends on the production, but there's also just not a ton you could do with it, I guess. For the pageantry, 3 out of 5 red scarves being thrown out of throats to represent slights.
Do they do that?
No, they didn't. All right, so now with them fresh on your memory, music, writing, and pageantry.
Cool. Music-wise, I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I think the music's great. Sweeney Todd is not my favorite Sondheim musical. It's good, but it's not my favorite. But I think that it has so much complexity to it that I appreciate that so much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I give it a 4. I think it's the complexity of the music is a good solid 4. The writing, I actually am going to give the writing. I'm going to give it like a 3, because I think there are a number of flaws in the story. In this particular version, in this particular musical, I think there are some character flaws. There's some writing flaws with like characters just kind of disappearing. Like
Yeah.
we talked about Toby, that Toby's issues are things, and the love story is weird, and
Yeah.
so because of that, I give it. What did I say?
3.
3.
I think you
Yeah,
said 3, yeah.
I think 3. Pageantry, I think I'm gonna give it also a 3.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the production, but the production that we saw, I thought was great for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
If we were just going off of, I'm going overall
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the show, so I would give it a 3. But specifically the production we saw is like 100, because I thought it was really great the way it was done. But in general the show, because it can be done so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it can get it rides that edge of people can just get crazy gory with it, and then it just is like, oh, is this Evil Dead the musical?
Sure. Watch that though.
I mean, it's a thing. It's a real
I
thing.
didn't know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Nice.
There's a splash zone and everything. But yeah, so overall I give that a 3.
Nice. All right, Katie, take us home.
Word. Music, I don't think I could ever give Sondheim less than a 5.
Fair enough.
Like, it's definitely not my favorite Sondheim, but he's so smart
Yeah.
in the way he composes and reveals character through music and story. Like, always 5. Writing, I agree. I would give it a 4. There's some like plot holes and stuff, but I
Sure.
think the story is so great and lyrics so great.
Yeah.
The whole thing so great. So I get a 4. Pageantry, I'm still a little confused, like what this category means. That's the point. But I feel like in terms of like a big Broadway musical, like there aren't like big dance numbers or anything. But I think like depends on the production. But like it's cool to see like blood on stage, and
Yeah.
it's like cool. Like even if it's just done with lighting and stuff, like it's still cool stuff. So I don't know, maybe like a 3.5.
Fair.
Yeah.
So actually, I think some of the lower scorers, I think Oklahoma probably lower, but that doesn't mean that, again, doesn't mean it wasn't good.
Exactly.
It just means it doesn't, in our very...
It's like winning a Grammy. It doesn't mean you're not good if you don't win a Grammy.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you're not the most artistic one there or the most intelligent
Yeah.
one there who doesn't just write ballads over and over again, but instead writes a culturally
No.
significant album.
Don't be mad at it.
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
All right. Let's send her home.
Oh my god.
Okie dokie.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hashtag that.
Yep.
Yes. Got it.
You love when I fail.
I love it. All right. I think we're all probably pretty excited.
We're
for-
jazzed. We're pumped. We're amped.
Who wants to go first?
Me. I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know that like slogan, like what would you do for a Klondike bar? We're all familiar.
Yes. Yep.
Everyone's like creaming their jeans
Yeah.
over Joanna. So I'm gonna say the hashtag what would you do for Joanna?
See, I thought you were gonna go. What would you do for a meat pie or something like that? But I like Joanna better.
Perhaps.
All right.
Like how would you win her affection?
Like Judge Turpin's would be. Adopted a daughter so I can bone her. Hashtag what would you do for Joanna? That would be Judge
I
Turpin.
mean, that's a little
It's
too
not
factual,
mine.
but I love where you're going. I love where it's headed. It's just, like just the story, but I love it. I love your energy.
It makes perfect sense.
I love the vibe.
What would I do for Joanna? Hashtag eat my father in a meat pie.
Yep, that's the winner.
Hashtag. That made me feel gross.
Yeah, why would you say that? You're a cannibal. This is the
horrible.
second time you've talked about eating people in meat pies.
That made me feel so gross. Put my dongle in a meat grinder. Hashtag things I would do for Joanna.
That's good. I'm proud of that one. Your dongle.
Aaron, you don't have to go, but if you'd like to, you're welcome to.
I don't know how I could be that.
All right,
my gosh.
Aaron, what
Oh
do you
my
got?
Oh, for hashtag?
Or do you want me to go next? Do you want to go last? You were pretty excited about yours.
I have 3 because they're really...
Yes, good.
I came up with something. Why don't you go?
All
And then, yeah.
All right, mine. The hashtag's not funny, but we can do some fun stuff with it.
Okay.
I want to make sure I get it exactly right. Oh yeah. So I thought about what other things that pies could be made out of that might pass for deliciousness, like human meat. So just take it away as creative as you can get. Hashtag what's in the pie. Like real. Let's see what you can really get. I got a couple.
Let's get abstract.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my god.
I'm just getting ready.
Oh, I got
That
one.
sound. Hashtag what's in the pie.
All my mucus.
All right, what you got here?
That one. A new Sarah Bareilles musical.
Yeah.
Hashtag what's in the pot.
Yeah.
Pawn that off as a real music.
Kelly Conway.
Ooh, I like that.
Kellyanne, sorry.
Hashtag Trump's entire organization.
Yeah. Men's rights activists.
Anything else? Any other ones?
Let's see what's in the pot.
Men's rights activists.
Yeah.
That even was a thing. Go fuck yourself, men's rights activists. God always. It's just living a normal life.
Oh.
Okay, so I got some good ones. So the first one actually came from our conversation on Facebook. Hashtag all the Sweeney, all the Toddness.
Wow, very Sunday, much park. Is that the meme we're doing?
Nope.
Okay.
No idea. What was it again? All Sweeney?
All the Sweeney, all the
Sweeney, all the Toddness.
All the Sweeney, all the Toddness. From at Miss Lovett. Just finished up a night of screwing. Hashtag all the Sweeney, all the Toddness. I took a new persona on that one. A night of screwing is the phrasing that she decided to go with.
Can't beat that.
Not boning. Not lovemaking.
No.
All right, what you got?
And some hot screwing.
Hashtag I pooped out a finger.
Oh, God.
Tried butt stuff for the first time. Hashtag I pooped out a finger. My mom listens to this. I haven't done that, Mom. Don't worry.
Just got back from Judge Turpin's sex party. Hashtag I pooped out a finger.
Just
tried
got back
mescal-
from a weekend at Mar-a-Lago. Hashtag just pooped out a finger.
Hashtag tried mescaline for the first time. Just pooped a finger. Oh, all right.
Hashtag can't find my Nuva ring.
Hashtag
I don't get it. But
hashtag new IUD? Question mark. Hashtag just pooped a finger.
at Planned Parenthood.
Hashtag does this count as an abortion? Hashtag just pooped a finger.
Hashtag don't at me, Mike Pence.
All right. That brings an end to this episode of Sweeney Todd.
We
Thank
did
you
it.
so much, Aaron, for being here.
Yes,
thank
thank you.
Great time, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to see the show live.
Yeah, thanks
fantastic.
for having me. This is probably going to be like the highlight of my month.
Well, that's great.
So, yeah.
Let's hope it's the highlight of your week, only because it'll get way better.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
Who knows? But
Who knows?
this has been great. I haven't laughed this much for a while.
That's
so
good. All right, sorry.
So,
where can our listeners follow you?
I both on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at Aaron Choi Story.
AARONCHOI story, right?
Yep,
Awesome.
that's it. Find me, follow me.
And as always, please find MusiPals wherever you're listening to it, or on SoundCloud or iTunes.
Yeah, and tweet at us. We love talking to you.
tweet.
Yeah,
At
that's
the
how I ended up
MusiPals.
here.
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
With that,
Okay, good.
thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, that's the play, and he wouldn't want us to give it away.
But Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street.